up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, for the first time in a while, I'm doing my monthly wrap-up at a reasonable time. It is December 1st and I'm here with my November wrap-up. I did decently well in the month of November. I read 5 books, given they were mostly all rereads, so that's a little disappointing for me, but still 5 books nonetheless. Let's talk about them. The first book I read in the month of November was actually an e-arc, and that was Blood Countess, a Lady Slayer's novel by Lana Popovic, and I gave this book 4 stars. Thank you to NetGalley and Amulet Books, an imprint of Abrams, for providing me with an early copy in exchange for an honest opinion. Like I said, I gave it a 4 stars. It definitely gave me all the creepy vibes, and I thought it was really well written. So what is this book about? This is a historical YA horror novel based on the infamous real-life Countess Dracula, Elizabeth Bathory, who killed countless women during the late 1500s and early 1600s. If you're like me and didn't know anything about Elizabeth Bathory, it definitely makes the book that much creepier knowing that there was a real-life person who did these horrible crimes. Given they can't exactly pinpoint the exact number of victims, but it was a lot. I did a quick wiki search and I think it said that she was actually in the Guinness World Records book for being the most prolific female serial killer. That's scary. That's spooky. Anyways, more about the book. In order to keep her family from starving, 16-year-old Anna Darvulia must leave her small, unnamed village and travel to the castle to serve under Countess Elizabeth Bathory, who has taken a great interest in her due to her extraordinary talent for healing others. Despite the warning signals going off in her head, Anna becomes enthralled with the Countess, despite others' warnings and the gossip of her evil and dark ways. Elizabeth shows a different side when she's with Anna. She's vulnerable. She seems to be more misunderstood than anything, not bloodthirsty, not evil in Anna's presence. And so Anna slowly starts to fall in love with this vulnerable side of Countess Elizabeth Bathory. However, after a while, Elizabeth does start to show her true colors, but Anna is so obsessed that at this point it makes no difference, and Anna is determined to save Elizabeth's humanity at whatever cost. So in Anna's head, it isn't Elizabeth Bathory who is evil and bloodthirsty. It is these exterior factors that are causing her to be this way. It's this person, or it's this situation, or it's what she's gone through. So Anna is just determined to eliminate all of those factors, and she thinks that by doing that, Elizabeth can be saved. Obviously, I can't tell you how everything ends, but it is pretty intense and kind of mind-blowing how far toxic love will take you. I also thought the author did really well in building up the character of Elizabeth Bathory, because even as I was reading it at the beginning, I thought, wow, maybe they're not going to go for dark, evil, historically accurate Elizabeth Bathory. Maybe in this version she is simply going to be misunderstood. You yourself start to doubt what you think or who you think Elizabeth Bathory is, and I will say there were moments where I did genuinely feel bad for her, but it's a doozy. This book is a doozy. I think it was a true descent into madness for Anna because of her obsession with Elizabeth, and again, I just thought that was done really well. We start with Anna full of these doubts and hesitant, and herself feeling like, I can't trust this person, and then by the end of it, it's a full-blown obsession, and the things that Anna will do for Elizabeth Bathory and how far she will go are truly just mind-blowing. So like I said, the last few chapters of this book are really intense. Like, just when you think it can't get worse, it gets worse, and then at the end it just goes really fast. And I think that's kind of where that 5th star was lost. I think there was just such great buildup of the story, and then at the end everything just kind of felt really rushed to wrap it all really nicely and to follow it historically. I did feel like the ending was just a little too perfect, a little too rushed. This is a perfect spooky read. It has enough blood and gore to give you the heebie-jeebies, but not enough to like make your stomach churn or you know? So I definitely recommend you give this book a try when it comes out January 28th of 2020. After Blood Countess, I reread The Iron Queen by Julie Kagawa, which if you've been on this channel for a while, you've probably heard me mention the Iron Face series countless times. I'm obsessed with the series. Do I think it is the most beautiful piece of literature? Not at all. It is early 2010 fantasy, YA fantasy. I just hold this series so close to my heart. I love it, and The Iron Queen in specific is my favorite book out of the entire series. Of course, I gave it 5 stars. I can't say too much because it's part of a series and I don't want to spoil books 1 and 2, but I do love that we get to, everything is just kind of at a tipping point at this stage in this book, and then the end is not happily ever after the way we imagine it, but I know it continues on and I just love it. The characters are just my absolute favorite at this point. So much happens. Love this book. The next book I read was 6 of Crows, and this was an audiobook that I had started about 6 months ago. I'm not kidding, 6 months ago. It was on my Goodreads for a while, and then I took it off because I realized it's kind of ridiculous for that book to be sitting on my Goodreads for so long, but I did finally finish it. I gave it a 5 stars. I think 6 of Crows is such a fun adventure heist story, but it has enough like action drama feelings. It's just a perfect combination. I love it, and if you have not read it, definitely go give it a try. It is a heist story with a bunch of misfits, people who you think would not be protagonists in a book. Main character Kaz Bracker is the bastard of the barrel, if that gives you an indication that these are not superheroes, these are not the good guys. Fantastic story. There's a Netflix series coming out soon, so definitely go read 6 of Crows. I also read Untamed by A.G. Howard. This is a culmination of the novellas that were released during the Splintered series, so this is book 3.5. I love it, absolutely love it. I love the short novellas that came in between books. It gives you just a little bit more background when you go back and read the main books. There is also kind of like a whole epilogue story at the end, and it just gives me all the feels. I cry every time. It's just so beautiful. I love that. I love getting to go back and see our characters again after the fact, after everything happened, because it's less life or death most of the times, at least in epilogue novellas that I've read. It's usually like happy times, them moving on, getting to do what they wanted to do, and I absolutely love it. Love it. Fabulous. 5 stars. I also read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I know, this is such a polarizing book. Some people think it's trash. I am mass trash, so I gave it 5 stars. I love it. Say what you will, you can sue me, I don't care. I still love it. I'm gonna love it. Again, do I think it's the greatest piece of literature ever written? No, not at all, by far. But it's still a great book, and I love it, so deal with it. Those are the 5 books that I read in the month of November. I feel really good. I read some books that I really enjoyed that made me happy, and I think it was easier to get through them because they are books that I enjoy and love already. I really enjoyed the E-arc that I read. It was really interesting. I wish I would have read it in October, but it just didn't happen, but it was still fantastic. I really hope you check it out. Let me know down in the comments if it's something that you're interested in. That's it to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Elle. I need to read more books, and I'll see you in next time's video.